Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of the Grandstand here on the High Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm your host, High Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about my crazy Sunday. As the title suggests, the piece of shit neighbor that I used to have back here was arrested this morning on outstanding warrants. So, yeah, good times. Basically, it was sometime last night. He had his buddy come over. I think it was his buddy or his nephew, one of the two, I'm not sure. Somebody. They came over at like 11 o'clock. I'm not sure if he was with them at the time, like they were both coming back into his unit, or if it was him there already and he was like just having them come in is what it was. Because I heard them talking a couple minutes before, I think it was right around 11 o'clock last night. And it was like 11:05, 11:06, something like that, is when I heard them coming into the unit. Then that's what it was. And then him basically staying for the night with this dude to do gaming shit or whatever. And it's like, first off, this guy knows quiet hours exist. Like, he knows, it's like 10 to 7 or whatever is supposed to be there. And like, I've had this talk with him multiple times before this. Like, when I moved in, we talked, and I was like, yeah, dude, just don't be an asshole. Like, I might be sleeping, like, right there is what it is. So, like, please, don't be a dick, basically. And so they were, hollering, carrying on at like 11 o'clock last night. And I'm like, all right, I'll give this an hour. I'm awake. Let me go ahead and, go watch something on the sites, is what it is there. And so I end up watching, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mary Kingstown dropped at that point. So I was watching like Mary Kingstown and like Robin Hood and all those other shows I watched, that's what it is. And, it gets to be like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I'm pretty tired. I'm going to try to fall asleep in the chair. Here's what it is. They're still going on over there is what it was. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. All right, fine. Let's, listen to music, do whatever, then if that be the case. And so I'm like trying to do some stuff, sort of trying to, maintain on his schedule at that point is what it is. And finally, like, it gets to be around 5 this morning, and I'm pretty much exhausted. Like, I'm, eyes drooping, falling asleep in the chair. Here's what it is. And obviously, for those who don't know, the reason I do fall asleep in the chair often is because with my knee, the way it's degenerating now is what it is, from the arthritis and from my other health issues and stuff like that. It's hard for me to sleep in a bed anymore because when my leg specifically goes completely straight like that, it basically knocks my like knee joints into place. And because there's so much arthritis and inflammation, there's what it is. It wakes me out of dead sleeps because of that when it locks into place like that. And so I don't have the ability to actually sleep properly is what it is. When I'm sleeping in a bed anymore, it's maybe 20 minutes, a half hour at most, where like at any given time for like any, spurt there is what it is, versus if I fall asleep in the chair here, as long as there's no trains coming through or whatever, I can sleep for 4, 5, 6 hours in this chair is what it is. Then I get a good night's sleep basically is what it is there. And so that's what I'll try to do is what it is. And, when you have, like I figured out this morning, I was here for 243 days right now, currently. And of those 243 days, there's been at least 50 times that this asshole back here had basically not observed quiet hours to where he was keeping me awake at any given time, on any given day. And even with me telling him to shut the fuck up, I'm going to call the cops is what it is. Like, he still refuses to shut the fuck up. And so, yeah, finally, this morning I just had it, like, because it was around, I think it was like 5:30 was when I was kind of like nodding off. And then it was like right around 6 a.m. Him and whoever the fuck he had over there, I don't know what they were playing, if they were playing like one of the 2K games or what it was, but they were like, woo, and doing like Ric Flair fucking like woos and shit like that. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude, it's fucking 6 a.m. Like, shut the fuck up. I am trying to sleep. Others are trying to sleep. Don't be an asshole. And I was literally back like this, and I was like, yeah, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, people are trying to rest. Like, it's quiet hours. And, I gave him a minute or two to basically hear me and either respond or just, respond by just shutting the fuck up is what it is. And so, of course, they didn't. And so finally, at like 6:17 this morning, I was in the bedroom there, calling the local PD up again and being like, hey, hate to keep having you guys come out here. This guy's being an asshole again, refusing to observe quiet hours, disorderly conduct, whatever you want to call it there. And they're like, okay, we'll send somebody out. And so it was about 6:28, 6:29, somewhere in there, is when I heard the cop beating on his door then. And of course he's like, who the fuck's knocking on my door at 6:30 in the morning? It's like, who the fuck do you think it is, asshole? It's the cops that I fucking called on you, dick smoke. And so basically, cops end up coming out, knock on his door. We're like, hey, come to the door. We need to identify you. Like, and he's like, oh, I'm just going to talk to you through the window here. And the cop's like, no, come to the door. We need to literally identify you and have a talk because you're committing disorderly conduct right now is what it is. Like, we've had noise complaints on you multiple times now is what he said. And so, by the way, this is the same bullshit he tried to pull the last time, which was 2 weeks ago to the day now. With that last cop that came out here, which I don't know if that cop was a rookie or what he was, but he was a fucking idiot though, because he basically outed me as who the guy was that was calling on this idiot, because he had gone over to talk to that dude 2 weeks ago, and then he ended up, the guy was doing the same bullshit, like refusing to answer the door and like refusing to, you know, it was basically like, oh, I'll talk to you through the window or whatever the case be. And then the cop ended up coming to my door, then knocking on my door at that point 2 weeks ago, about midnight or so. And was like, yeah, here's a reason to answer. Like, there's not much I can do about it. And I'm like, really, dude? Like, there's not? Because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, back then I was like, are you just half-assing your job at this point, bro? Like, what the fuck? But yeah, like this cop today was like just not having it. So I don't know if he was like in the last hour of his shift or if it was like he was just starting the shift or whatever the case be, but he was just not having it. I don't blame him, because it was like, legitimately, I was looking at the weather this morning. It was like 17, 18 degrees is the real feel this morning. So yeah, like if I'm going to be in a police officer's, you know, shoes at that point, I'm getting called out for a domestic, you know, noise call basically. And this idiot's refusing to answer the fucking door, and it's cold as shit, and I'm having to beat on this guy's door repeatedly. Like, I'd be pissed too, you know? So, anyway, I'm not so sure if there's not somebody in the apartment right now that will be in there illegally right now, is what it is. But, yeah, it almost doesn't sound like there's somebody in there right now. Which there shouldn't be, because that dude should be in jail right now. But anyway, yeah, that was all going on at 6 to 7 a.m. this morning is what it was. So basically, end up, like I said, the cops are out here, and the guys are refusing to answer. Cop ends up calling me up, then is what it is. And is like, hey, like this guy's refusing to answer. We're not going to leave, obviously, because he's, you know, doing criminal shit right now is what it is. And I think with him refusing to identify is what it was, like that was the biggest issue there is what it was. And so he what was I saying then? Yeah, with him refusing to identify, like the cop was like, okay, we're gonna figure it out or whatever the case be. And then he like was talking to me on the phone, and he's like, hey, does this guy have a vehicle in the parking lot or whatever the case be? I'm like, yeah, this is his vehicle. And so they ran the plates, and then it came back that apparently had multiple outstanding warrants on us for his arrest. And so it was about roughly 7 o'clock this morning. They were on their bullhorn, and they're like saying the guy's name. They're like, dude, come out. You have outstanding warrants for your arrest. If you do not come out, we will kick the door in. We have a canine unit on site, and we will let the dog in out to bite you. And so within about 5 minutes of that, give or take, he was like, all right, fine, I'm coming out. But it was funny because in the meantime, during the whole thing, he was refusing to identify and stuff like that. He was telling the cop, he's like, oh, I'll be down at the courthouse or with my lawyer. And the guy's like, no, just come to the door. Like, just come to the door and identify yourselves what it is. And so I think it was just bullshit was what it was then. But, yeah, sure enough, there was what was I saying then? Sorry, I'm gonna text my landlord right now because I'm not so sure there's not somebody in there that shouldn't be right now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm debating if I want to call the PD again right now because I know I heard like noise back behind me there in that wall, and like there shouldn't be anybody in there right now because that dude, from what the cop was saying, I have not gotten the charges yet because I didn't get a chance to see if there was anything from booking yet. Right now is what it is, so I guess it'll be probably tomorrow or Tuesday. It'll be updated booking in the Stark County Jail is what it is for his name. I know what his name is now, obviously. I'm not going to give the information out until I need to, is what it is. But yeah, basically it was multiple outstanding warrants, and from what the cop told me when he called me up and after they arrested him is what it was. He said, okay, everything should be cool now. Guy shouldn't be getting out for a long time now because of what he had on or whatever, and to basically stay safe and get some rest. So yeah. So that was my morning between 6 and 7 this morning, or I guess 7:30 this morning is what it would have been then. So kind of sounds like there's something going on over there right now, even. So it better not let him out. That's all I gotta say about it. But I don't think they would though. That'd be kind of stupid. But yeah, yeah, because I even asked the cops. I was like, "Yeah, did you get the second guy that was in there too, or whatever?" And they're like, "We didn't have probable cause to go into the unit because the guy came out as what it was on his own." I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, I'm not sure if somebody's in there right now, like fucking off or what's going on right there. So that was what I was talking to my sister about this morning too. Is we weren't sure about that, if it was something like that or if it was. I'm thinking what happened maybe is it was a situation where this happened after he moved in here, and he has since caught charges with his there, because it would make sense why 2 weeks ago he wouldn't answer the door to that cop. That's what it was. And then I'm thinking back to the first time I had to call for noise complaints is what it was, which is a couple months ago. And I'm thinking to myself, if he actually answered the door then to that cop, or if it was him doing the window bullshit then too as well, because it could have been something where it was like months in the making right now that he knew these charges were on his ass and refused to, basically go to jail for what he was doing his crimes as it was then. So, but who knows? Yes, I'm not sure if I'm hearing stuff from this wall over here, which would be the wall with that Mick guy, or if I'm hearing stuff back here. Because if I'm hearing stuff back here, then that would definitely be cause for concern to call the PD out again. That's what it is. Because, yeah, if there's somebody squatting in there right now, like, I know damn well it's not the landlord doing anything. I noticed there was lights on earlier when I went out to go get my package, because they apparently Amazon delivered my package today, but they were stupid. That's where this hat came from, by the way. They were stupid. Instead of leaving on my door with my instructions that literally had my address on the freaking door, they left it on the other guys, there was what it was. So I had to go find it then. But I thought maybe it was over here, so I walked past that guy's, like the halfway point to like look and see if there was anything on his porch is what it was. Thankfully there wasn't. But yeah, I assume this guy's doing all kinds of thievery shit with this then. Because I even texted the landlord this morning before all this happened, and I was like, yeah, dude, like I'm pretty sure that like this dude's jacking people's packages because it was Friday night. I heard somebody beating on the guy's door, and they were like, hey, where the hell's my package? It was delivered on your porch instead of mine. And he was bullshitting like he bullshit with me months ago, where he was like, well, I put it down the mailboxes. And it's like, no, you didn't, dude. I know for a fact you fucking didn't, because with the exception of the time that I was not here for like an hour and a half, which I know it wasn't that point or whatever, I'm pretty sure it was there before that. And it was just gone. Like, I know damn well he didn't do that. What he would have done was he would have opened the door, seen there's a package there, taken the package, and most likely opened it is what it was. Which is what I guaranteed did with my shit back in like May is what it was then. So, yeah, the guy's just a fucking raging cunt, piece of shit criminal is what it is then. But hopefully he's gone for good now is what it is, and hopefully in the next month or two, the landlord will get on the eviction process. Here's what it is then. And then come the new year, I'll just have a new neighbors what it is then. So, which, I don't know if I think I told you guys about the cat story from the other day, where it was like Tuesday or Wednesday night. I heard like random meowing outside and looked out the door on my porch, and there was a black cat looking up at me, and I was like, who are you and where did you come from? And then as soon as I went to open my door then, like between the time that I clicked the locks open and then went to actually open the door to like look out and see if the cat was still there, I don't know if it had like run off or if it like just magical disappearing cat or something. That's what it was there. But from my understanding, black cats specifically on your porch or on your like doorway or whatever can either be a good or a bad sign. And in most cultures, it's like a good sign of like prosperity and like good fortune coming your way is what it is. So I don't know if this is like part of that or not, but I'm going to go ahead and take it as that right now. Because in my opinion, it was obviously a good fortune for me, because now I can basically, sleep in the chair and not have to worry about stupid bullshit is what it is there. So that being said, then it was, I don't know if it was this guy's friends, family, or this morning, this afternoon, after all this had gone down, I ended up having a response on my Blink doorbell at around 2:18 this afternoon of this random motherfucker knocking on my damn door. I don't know if she was bringing this dude groceries or what it was, because she was beating on his door apparently, and then she came knocking on my door, and then I think it was somebody else was there too, because I think they were beating on other people's doors too. So I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know if that's them over there right now or what it is, but they don't live there. So at least as far as I'm aware, they don't anyway. I'm pretty sure it's just his name on that lease is what it is then. So, but yeah, as far as I'm aware, though, he's gone. So that's all that matters right now. So if I hear anything tonight, then that's what it is, or in the coming days, like I will definitely be calling the cops again. That's what it is, because I'll be like, hey, like as far as I'm aware, this guy's in jail, and somebody in this apartment that shouldn't be is what it is then. But anyway, who knows though? I'm also kind of half wondering if it wasn't him choosing to surrender this morning because whoever was in there with him maybe also had a standing warrants on them too, is what it is. So I really don't know right now. I'm kind of hoping Honda does a chat tonight, but I don't think he will, though, is what it is, because it's almost 10:30 now. So that's the reason why I did this one, obviously, because I wanted to get this info out there right now as it stands. So, and then it'll be tomorrow or the next day. I'll let you guys know what's going on. That's what it is. So yeah, hopefully it's a situation where he's just gone for good, then that's what it is, and the landlord will just evict his dumbass a little bit then. So anyway, that's about it for this one though. Hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see y'all on the next one. If I get info tomorrow, I'll give you info tomorrow, but this is an update. If I don't get info, I will wait until I have it. So it'll be probably either tomorrow or Tuesday. I'll do another grandstand about this whole thing, give another update on this thing. So probably daytime is what it'll be, like 3, 4 o'clock then. So other than that, that's about it for today. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you all in the next one. And like I said, if I hear things, I will definitely be calling local PD again and being like, hey, I'm pretty sure somebody's legally in this dude's apartment right now, what it is. So we'll wait and see, figure it out. But yeah, just a crazy morning, and just a sad situation all the way around. Because again, you would think, like, you know, if you know you got warrants out for your arrest, like, why would you be stupid and break quiet hours in an apartment complex? And it's not like you're like a thing where it's like maybe like 20 minutes or an hour, whatever the case be. It's like you're doing that shit for like 7 hours, dude. Like, you know, like it just seems common sense to not be stupid like that. But again, criminals are not the smartest people out there, so what do you really expect? And I think that's probably why this happened, honestly. But again, it could be a blessing in disguise for all I know, because it could be a situation going forward where I'm definitely on a TV right now. Again, I'm not sure if it's here or if it's over in the other dude's unit there. So, not sure. I would think, though, if you're like this person's friend or whatever, like you want to get the fuck out of there too, is what it is then. But who knows? Hopefully the landlord will just do his job then, is what it is, and just be like, yep, this guy's lease is gone, and give him and anybody related to him the boot, is what it is then. And I'll just be able to get a new neighbor come the New Year's, what it'll be. Because I know evictions do take a while, and if it starts tomorrow or the next day, like it'll still be, you know, I think it's, well, I'm not sure, because I know in Ohio it depends on like circumstances and stuff like that, because it could be as little as 3 days, but it could be like 10 days or even like 30 days then. So I would say, given the fact this guy has been arrested for various crime, though, like I would think that would be the 3-day exception would be then for like immediate evictions or whatever then. So I would think it'd be, if the landlord starts tomorrow, it'll be like Thursday, Friday is when the deed will be completely gone from the units, would be then. So who knows? But like I said, it's semantics at this point, honestly. It's been dealt with as much as it can be, and you know, hopefully I'll be able to get a decent night's sleep, and that's what it is. And going forward, then not gonna worry about my safety anymore, is what it is then, because this guy was definitely, like, I don't know if I'd really say like violently aggressive, but like he was just an aggressive asshole, is what it is. So but anyway, so I'm just hoping that, given the fact this guy had the same name as somebody else, I'm hoping that they didn't get the wrong guy, is what it is then. And then just release his dumbass this afternoon or something like this, would be then. I don't think they would have, though, because even then it would still be, like, I think they would still keep him for like the rest of the day anyway, and like release him tomorrow morning, would be then, because it would have been a situation where being arrested on a Sunday, usually it's not until Monday morning they'd actually release you, then is what it is. Because you'd be, like he would still be committing crimes, obviously, which would be like a much lesser crime, which would be refusing to identify and refusing to comply with lawful orders and stuff like that would be then. So, but anyway, only time will tell, though. And the fact that we're about 10:30 right now, and I still don't see anything from old Handler. I don't think we're gonna have a gay frog chat tonight, so I think I'll probably just try and take a nap. That's what it is out here in the chair then. Like I said, if I hear any weird like fuckery going on then from there, I'll definitely be calling up the old PD is what it is and being like, hey, you guys didn't let this dude out or something, did you? Hopefully that's not the case. Fucking better not be the case. So I don't think it would be though. Like I said, I think it would be, if anything, it'd be somebody else that's in there probably right now that's illegally squatting as it would be then. So, but anyway, congrats on that High Point pickup. I will say that before I leave. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much from for the day. So hope you guys enjoy this one. Stay safe, stay vigilant, always be carrying. Always have a gun within reach is what I would say, which I do right now, obviously. And, hopefully with everything going on, it's just a matter of time before there is no more bullshit. Here's what it is then. So, which, I don't know. I think if I was a landlord, I would actually get the sheriff's office out here with me is what it is then. If I was going to be, 100% evicting the dude out here is what it is then. Just to make sure there's nobody else in the unit at the time or whatever then. Because God forbid, like, old man goes in there by himself and gets jumped by somebody who's randomly, like, squatting. That's what it is. So, I hate to see that happen, obviously, because my landlord's, like, as much as he's kind of, like, hands off for the most part, like, he's still a good dude from everything I've seen. Like, he'll do what needs to be done to make sure the units are intact and everything like that is what it seems like. So, and even from what I, was texting him this morning, and then he was like, yeah, just get back to me if you use any more information or whatever the case. That's why I texted him or doing the stream. Here's what it is, because like I said, I don't know if he was, I don't think this guy was released. I'm pretty sure it would be somebody else in there potentially right now is what it is. So I don't know, but either way, it's most likely somebody in there that shouldn't be if they are in there. So, and nothing else. That mean, and if that's the case, if somebody wasn't there, then whether it be that crazy woman I showed earlier, or whether it be somebody else for the matter, it would have meant that they broke into the place is what it is then, because as far as I'm aware, they didn't have a key in that place. So that means they might have done what he did, which was go over to the window and pop the window open and essentially breaking in there is what it would be then to get in the place, unless it was the person that was already in there with them last night is what it was. Which even still, like, again, like, that person had no right to be in there anyway because they were a guest of his, but they're not legally renting the unit is what it is. So again, only time will tell. So, but even still, like I said, I'll wait about an hour or so. If I'm still hearing stuff, I will, or if I can confirm that there is something going on over here, I would definitely call the PD out and be like, hey, like, I know you guys arrested this dude this morning, but there appears to be somebody else, like, illegally in the unit right now is what it is. So, but hopefully that's not the case, and I'm just hearing stuff, and it's coming from the other instead of coming from back here, it's coming from over there, maybe. But who knows? Either way, it's just a crazy day. That's what it is. And like I said, if you're going to be a criminal, at least be smart enough not to get, busted on something stupid like this. So, that's on you at that point, man. But like you would, and the thing is, like I said, with that dude, like I even told him, I was like, hey man, if you ever need anything, like, because when I moved in, he was like, oh, if you ever need anything, come to me or whatever the case be. And I was like, yeah, same to you, basically. And he, instead of actually coming to me, he chose to steal my electricity. He chose to take my package, potentially. And there was a few anyway, for sure. Like I said, if it was like his buddy or whatever last night, like it would potentially maybe be that guy right now. There was his nephew, and then there was that woman that came through today, which was either his chick or his sister. I'm not sure which. And then I think there was I know there was at least a white woman that came through once or twice. So that'd be at least 4 different people that I saw coming in and out of that place. And then trying to think now who else would have been there. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe like 5 or 6 actually, but one of them might have actually been another one of the neighbors around here though. So like it wasn't like a ton, but it was enough to where it could have been like some low level dealing or something, if that'd be the case. So I have no idea if that's what the charges are for or not, but like I said, I'm hoping that I'll be able to get an update sometime tomorrow or maybe Tuesday with the local Stark County jails when it is then. Because I'm guessing that's where he's being booked out right now is what it is. And hopefully it'll be, showing what he did or nothing else. Like, I'll tell you right now, if it was like some kid shit, like, I'm going to be really pissed at the fucking landlord then, because there is where my quad unit sits, here's what it is. There's another one next to us. It's like 10, 15 feet away maybe. And I know for a fact that those people have children that live in the one side of that on this side. And then it's on the opposite side. I believe there's a black family that has another couple of kids as well, too, for that matter. Because there's like white family here and there's black family on the other side, so it is there. So when you have like, I think between the two of those couples, it's like 4 or 5 kids that are under the age of 18. And when I say under the age of 18, I mean like, I think the highest one's like junior high or something like that then, so maybe like 12 or 13 at most. And the other ones are like grade school age, like 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. Yeah, if this guy was running into a pedo, then I'd be really fucking pissed, honestly, is what it is. So, which really just shows me that, like, background checks are not being done properly is what it is then, which, again, it could have been after the fact or something like that. Then I think more likely it would be something where it was drunk and disorderly, and then maybe like drunk driving or something, and like various other shit like that potentially is what it would be then. But it could have been drugs, could have been, sex assaults, it could have been anything at that point, who knows? Like, because like I said, the PD, the cop that I was talking to from the PD would not tell me specifically what they got him on. He just said that he's not going to be around for a long time. So take that for what you will at this point. I assume it's something pretty like first, second degree felony level of, years in prison kind of thing is what it is there. So if that be the case, hopefully this was the blessing in disguise and it was just what was needed to happen. That's what it is. And it's just sad it took 3 times to get this fucking clown out of here is what it is then. But yeah, needless to say, it is what it is. So, I think Mom was looking down at me on that one, at least this time around, which was good. But like I said, kind of irritating that it took this long for the police to really do anything properly is what it is. Because really, truthfully, like, if you go back to, I think it was May, Yeah, it was either the end, it was either middle of May or like beginning of June, one of the two time periods there. When I caught him jacking into my outlet outside, there's what it is. And when I called out the cops next day, like it should have been immediately them arresting him right then and there is what it is for stealing my electricity. It would be then, or at minimum like citing him for like appear in court kind of thing or whatever. Then if that be the case, then for like restitution stuff or whatever. Then, but yeah, so like really he's just pissed off the wrong white guy is what it is there. But anyway, but yeah, basically the thing is like if you're gonna have, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a picture real quick of the one wall over there because I want to show you guys about what I think the thickness of these walls actually are. So that is basically the thick. If I can get it in the frame here, I'm not sure. Let me maybe pull back just a little bit to get some contrast in there. Yeah, if you see how thick that wall actually is, where it's only like a few inches, maybe like that thick, give or take. That's the one for my right behind my fridge there. And I'm guessing that these shared walls are probably about the same thickness. So they'd be roughly about maybe like that far apart or whatever. Yeah, be about maybe that far apart, give or take. And if you have like next to no insulation in them is what it is there, like that's why I can hear what he's doing over there is what it is all the time, or did hear what he's doing over there all the time. And the thing is, like, that's why I want to put the soundproofing obviously more, which I don't know if that really do anything or not, but it'll probably muffle at least a little bit anyway what I would hear from either that unit or from the guy on the opposite side over there. So who the fuck knows? But I don't know. It's just irritating, and yeah, I'm just done with this guy's shit is what it is right now. So like I said, hopefully he'll be serving some years there in the penitentiary is what it is there, and if there's anybody else over here in the next day or two, like I'll definitely be calling the cops out here and being like, hey, like these people are illegally in this dude's unit is what it is then. So if that means getting arrested them for trespassing, then good. More pieces of shell street is what it'll be then. They can join their buddy for Christmas time is what it is in the jail cell. So, fuck around and find out, literally. But anyway, like I said, that's it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I had a very good afternoon. I had an idiot knocking on my door this afternoon. I was able to finally take a good afternoon nap is what it is then. Finally get some decent sleep in this chair is what it is then. Without having to worry about this fuckface interrupting my quiet times what it is there. So, yeah, good for me, good for society, I guess. But, yeah, I will, I'll let you guys know what's going on, though. Keep you informed. So, if I have to call out the cops again, then if that be the case, so. Anyway. Hopefully I won't, but you never know, man. Never know. I hear like some loud crashes over there tonight, I'll definitely call the cops then and be like, hey, I'm pretty sure somebody's like had broken into this place. So if I was the guy's buddy that was potentially over there last night, and I probably would have left at this point, obviously, because I would have just found like some cash wherever the guy had laying around and then just caught a bus someplace what it is then. But then again, if you got no place else to go because you might be like homeless or whatever, then maybe you'll be squatting that guy's place. Who the fuck knows? But I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing like noises today though, so could have very well been something where this dude was over there and he was just napping in that guy's bed for all the fuck I know. But then again, I'm not sure if it's coming from this wall or if it's coming from the other wall because the way that this unit is set up, it's weird because you have obviously the kitchen wall there. It corresponds to this wall back here behind me, which would be more or less the living room wall. And then because of those two things, like, it's hard to know if it's coming from part of the kitchen wall, which would be a different unit, or if it's coming from the like living room wall here, living room dining room wall here. So, but I don't know. I'm gonna grab a cup here in a minute, and I will do the old ear against the wall there and see if I can't hear anything as it is done. And if I can, I will definitely be like, hey, pretty sure there's somebody illegally in this guy's unit now that it is. And if they happen to tell me, like, oh, we let the guy out or something for some stupid reason, like, I'll be like, why? So, I don't think they did, though. I think he's probably sitting in a jail cell right now is what it is. So I have no idea who potentially this would be if they are anybody in there right now. And the reason I say that is because obviously when I was outside an hour and a half ago, give or take, to find my package at Amazon delivered to the wrong address, I literally saw the lights on in the guy's place there, and I'm just like, did that guy leave them on this morning, or did somebody else put them on them? Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, not sure, man. But either way, definitely some shady shit going on here, and a bunch of criminality for sure. And again, this is why you do background checks on all your tenants, and even if they're living in there, like, I don't know, maybe do like an intermediate one while the lease is still ongoing, then if that be the case. Just to make sure they don't have any outstanding warrants at that point on them. So, actually, what I would probably do if I was a landlord, because I know those aren't, cheap and stuff like that. So what I'd probably do is I would do a situation where it would be, when it comes like the last 2 months of a lease agreement, I'd probably, because thinking a person might be trying to re-up or whatever in a couple months, is what it is, I would maybe run like a pre-check on them then if that be the case, just to make sure in that first 10 months they were living there that they didn't have any like actual, charges brought against them or something like that, where it would be like outstanding warrants or, felony convictions or something like that is what it is, then that would disqualify them from renting from me. So, but we'll see. So, like I said, it could very well be a situation where me just texting the landlord right now and maybe he'll just bring out a cop with him tomorrow or something. If that be the case, then to go through the unit, then if that is the case, because obviously tomorrow's December 1st, then is what it is. So who knows? I know I got my rent check in, though. I don't know if it's actually in this box right now or not, though, but it should be sometime tomorrow, I think. But hopefully it is. I don't know. If he tries to text me and be like, oh, I didn't get your rent check, I'll be like, well, that's weird because I put it in there a couple days ago. So, should be in your box. Which I think I sent it. Actually, it would have been afraid if it was Thanksgiving or the day before, maybe. So it should be at his P.O. box then by now. Or by tomorrow at some point. So, I don't know. And again, the mail's late. It's late. If he tries to charge me or whatever, I'll be like, I will actually give him shit at that point because I'll be like, dude, like, I've been putting up with this motherfucker for like the past 6 months. Like, dude was obviously jacking my electricity. Like, if anything, he should be giving me like a free month of rent at this point. So, but anyway, who knows? Oh, I am 100%. Because there was so many days I could have literally just like right behind me here, or right where the stickies are there, I could have just, and it almost came to that several times. So, because I've been like this close to a fucking mental break at this point. So this morning was definitely that saving grace that I needed, is what it is. But yeah, it didn't look like Honda's going to go live tonight, so I will see you guys probably Tuesday nights with this then on his chat. Other than that, I think that's where we're going to be at for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to have like some mental abilities and stuff like that. Not mental abilities. Be able to have my sanity remain in check, then is what it is. And be able to get enough sleep in the coming days to actually be able to have like, you know, functionality again is what it is there. So, but other than that, that's from after today. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and then we'll see y'all in the next one. Like I said, I'll be doing, depending on when I can find info about this guy's arrest, I will let you guys know what's up. That's what it is, and keep you updated. Well, hopefully the next crazy is like that fun, sexy crazy where it would be like some hot girl moving in there that potentially would be like my future wife or, you know, girlfriend or whatever the case be. So, and it could be that super fun, crazy, sexy, happy time. So, anyway, and not just some other fucking lunatic. But yeah, I'm not really down for that kind of situation just because it's like the issue I have with that is like there never really is like a real friends with benefits situation. It's always going to be one of the two people involved in that relationship is going to fall in love and have to be an actual relationship, or it'll be they'll think it's more of a relationship than it is like casual sex, whereas the other person will think it's casual sex. And so you're always going to have somebody's heart broken in the situations where I'd much rather have it be if it was something where I started a relationship with someone that was potential neighbor or whatever the case be, that it would be like a long-term, like either boyfriend, girlfriend thing, or potentially be like a fiance thing down the road or something like that maybe. So, because, you know, at some point you gotta know your outs and you gotta know what's going on is what it is there. So, but yeah, it'd be nice to find somebody, you know, have love in my life is what it is there. So, maybe get me out of this funk and depressive state that I'm in right now is what it is, which is not really like super depression or anything like that, but it's just like, you know, it's like more like constant anxiety is what it is there from dealing with old fucknut over there is what it was. Which again, Duke could have just been cool. He'd just been like, sorry, bro. Keep it down. Because even the cop was asking me this morning, he's like, was it loud music this guy was doing, or was it like loud noise or what? And I'm just like, no, it's just them being like hooting and hollering and shit, basically. Because they're doing dumbass gaming shows what it is there. And, you know, that I think that's even worse than honestly, because it's not like consistent music or it's not consistent like noise. It's just like every so often I know people are like, oh yeah, I got you, bro. And shit like that is what it is. Because that's more or less what it was. So. I was wondering when I just put away there, it was I took one of the knife things I got and made it into a manicure set for all of my manicure stuff. Like nail trimmers and stuff like that's what it is. So, and I feel like that's definitely the case right now. Like I know it has too, for that matter, because even when I was talking to my chiropractor like a month ago, she was discussing with me about this, and I was like, she's like, yeah, you're carrying like a lot of stress. Like she's like, your shoulder blade area is like super tense right now. And I was like, is that from stress or what? And she's like, it could be. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense because I'm dealing with this fucking jackass. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry for you, man. And I was like, me too, because the landlord's not doing anything with it is there. Whereas, again, like going, and again, I understand like it is a bitch to evict somebody is what it is there, but at the same time, like if you literally have people with evidence that this man was like clearly stealing their power, like how is that not an immediate, like, because I was been looking over there over the lease I signed for this past year's one this year, and it literally has in there like shit like that, where if it's like, yeah, you catch like somebody stealing your stuff or like doing something or whatever, it's like immediate eviction process of this than they're supposed to be. So the fact that this dude was able to live here for like another 5.5, 6 months after he did that shit to me is what it is absolutely ridiculous. Like, he should have been gone that week is what it is then. But yeah, it does make me wonder, like I said, like how many outstanding warrants he got on them and how many, like what the actual charges vary on is what it is there. So it all just depends. But yeah, it'll be a interesting time to come for sure. But I think on that note, I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, call it a day and do whatever and probably try and get some sleep as we're busy in the chair here. Maybe get in my bed and try to nap out there for a couple hours or something if I can. It all just depends because it is pretty cold right now. So, in fact, what is the temperature right now? Well, supposedly the current temp is 28 according to what my phone said when I just checked the thing there, but let's go and see what it actually is. I know it's less than that then. Let's see whether... Yeah, supposedly it's 28 right now, but the real feel is 18. I think that's about what it was this morning too, if I'm not mistaken. Which makes sense why that cop would have been pissed, and if that'd be the case, because when you're having to beat on some idiot's fucking door for like 10 minutes and dude's refusing to answer and it's cold as shit out there, like I'd be pissed too. You know. So anyway. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm done with all of it, what it is, man. So there's been dustings. There's not been any like significant droppage yet. It's been mostly like it'll be like enough to like cover the grass where you can still kind of see the grass underneath it. So it's maybe like 1/5 of an inch or something like that. What it is, maybe 1/4 of an inch at most. I think when I was looking at the thing the other day, it said there was maybe like it's like 1/5 of an inch or something like that that was hit down. So like it was like 0.02 or something like that, or 0.20 or something like that. So like it was less than an inch. It was like literally like less than 1/4 of an inch then. I know it's dissipated since then. It's just really cold weather is what it is right now. To where even with my heat on here, it's still pretty chilly. So, which the problem is for me, you know, being a bigger dude, it's an issue where it's like you either have it being like just the right temp, or you're just sweating, and sometimes it's like you think it's the right temp, but then you're actually just like sweating through a blanket, basically, which is weird. Which I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I forget what that's called, but it's basically I've had that with a couple times with my mom's old OSU throw that I've had on me here in the chair. Where even this afternoon it was like that because I woke up and it was like I like rubbed my hand a little bit across the top of it. I'm like, why is there like wetness here? Is what it is. And it's something where your like body is giving off so much heat or something like that underneath like a layer that it just like sweats through that like upper layer for some reason, like creates like weird condensation or something. That's what it is there. So I'm definitely hearing it sounds like TV noises, but I'm not sure if they're coming from dude over there that actually still lives here, or if they're coming from unit that shouldn't be occupied right now is what it is. So we'll see. I think I'll finish this off right now, and then I'll go check into that and see if I can't figure out which one that's coming from. Then, if that's the case. like I said, if it's coming from there, it might be like a call to the PD and be like, hey, like, pretty sure there's not supposed to be anybody in here right now, and there's somebody in there right now. As far as where the tenant was arrested this morning on outstanding warrants. So, yeah. But anyway, I don't know if there'd be a way for cops to like actually jimmy a lock, or if it would be a situation where they'd have to actually just kick the door as what it is and just break the lock as it would be then. So, because I mean, technically they could, if nothing else, like do what this dude has done in the past and just go through the window. If that be the case, then. But obviously, that would also be a. If anything, I think they would probably, if they were going to do that, they would probably just bring out a canine unit and then just simply like slide the window open, throw the dog in there, let the dog find somebody. If they bite somebody, then they know if there's somebody in there is what it is then. And then go from there is what it'd be then. So, yeah. But anyway, who knows? Like I said, we'll check it out here in a minute and see if that is the case. So, I don't think they would let, like I said, I don't think they'd let that guy out because, especially if it was the right dude and they were. Yeah, I'm definitely hearing shit over there now is what it is. Maybe I will call the cops again if that'd be the case, just because I think I'm hearing people over there now. Or a person over there now. And there should be no one. So. Are you talking about the overall like call this morning? Or are you talking about like if they were to put a dog in there to like bite the suspect? Because either way, it'd be kind of funny. But yeah, that's what it is. Though it's just like I said, just kind of craziness is what it is, man. Jaw's kind of stress moving right now is what it is. Here comes the fucking trains then. I don't think so, because if it was him, that would be super weird, just because the fact that I would have texted him, like, when did I text him earlier? Yeah, I texted him like almost 45, like around 45 minutes ago, and I think he would have got it and just texted me back and been like, no, it's me over here. So I don't think it would be him. Like I said, I know I'm like 99% sure that there was a second person this morning and they did not take out of the place because they didn't have to go into it because he had surrendered at the door is what it was. And because when I talked to the cops, they had no probable cause to go into the unit. That could just very well be his buddy still in there, what it is then from this morning. For all the fuck I know. Which again, that dude would be illegally occupying a dwelling at this point, that's what it is. I'm pretty sure by state law. Let me check that real quick to confirm on that one. Okay, let's see. Okay, so according to what I just found out, it sounds like if the unit was paid up, technically somebody could still be in there. But that being said, they would not be the renter, is what it is, though. So I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, it's hard to say, man. Like I'm still, this is, not knowing who the fuck this person potentially is. This be the case. Like it's raising my stress level right now is what it is. So yeah, I don't know. I just want this fucking dude and his idiot fucking family just down as what it is right now. Or friends, or who the fuck they would be at this point. So anyway. All right, well, that's better for tonight. I will I mean, I probably got like several hours anyway, but I just don't feel like doing anything right now is what it is. Because it would literally just be me like moving around and like doing things as it is then. You would literally see me with a glass on my ear. Is what it would be. Like checking to see if that actually is the case. Or just sticking my ear against the fucking wall and being like, oh, is there somebody over here then? So I don't know. Like I said, it did kind of bother me when the cops said that they didn't check the units if it is there because they didn't quote unquote have a probable cause of this. But it's like, okay, well, so here's the thing though, but like, wouldn't you have probable cause though? Just because when I talked to you, I specifically said there was two people in that unit, and one of them would be somebody that's not even renting the place. You got the guy who was renting it on felony outstanding warrants, but like, who's to say the other person isn't also kind of the same deal there? Like, wouldn't you want to identify like anybody that would be in there then if that'd be the case? So, yeah, it just kind of seems like nonsense to me, honestly, at this point. But like I said, it just kind of grind the teeth a little bit. Here's what it is. So, yeah, I'm definitely hearing noise from back there right now. Yeah, I might just call it a PD then if that'd be the case. Thing is, I'm not sure how long it would take me to get out here right now because it's already 11:05. So if it's about the same as it was this morning, it'd be about 12 to 15 minutes, give or take, after I call them. So yeah, it's like a whole thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll just get ready to go to bed. Then that's what it is. Because I'm pretty tired right now. So I think maybe I'll just do that if that's the case then. Oh, both of them do at this point. I talked to my brother a couple hours ago too. I let him know what's going on as well. And my cousin also knows too, for that matter. So if anything happens to me, like they know, they know what's up. And of course, this is now the evidence that, like, hey, if anything does happen to me, like, it's because there was some random person in this fucking unit who it is, and I don't fucking know. So Yeah, I'm not sure if that was just like somebody laughing I just heard or who the fuck that was. Yeah, well. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a night then is what it is. I will see you guys. Like I said, if I can find information tomorrow about it, I'll let you know what's going on tomorrow. If it's not until Tuesday, I'll let you know Tuesday then if that be the case. But as far as I'm aware, I don't have any. Not finding any results, but I'm definitely hearing like weird shit over there right now. So I don't know, man. Weird. I'm obviously not going to go out in this cold and knock on the door myself. Is what it is, because that'd be insanity. But you know, it is what it is. So right, I will. Like I said, I'm not sure if that guy's in the system yet or not. If I just can't find the proper records, it is I need to look through them. So I'll check again tomorrow and see if there's anything then. See if they updated their systems or not then, which I think they would probably Monday. Because I'm guessing with it being the weekend, it's probably not going to be updated until Monday morning. That'll be my guess. So it'd probably be Monday afternoon, Monday evening, Tuesday morning, something like that is when I actually be able to find the stuff on this guy's what it is then. But anyways. Yeah. It's very irritating either way. Just when you think you're going to have a fucking good day. All right, well, that's about it for this one. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed all this, and I will be back again probably, let's just safely say Tuesday afternoon at this point. Unless I do like a in-between stream of like why Amazon sucks tomorrow or something like that is what it is. Or how the drivers are shit and don't know how to actually like, you know, read instructions. So, which would be a 5-minute rant against them is what it is there. But anyway. But yeah, I think I'm gonna probably head towards the bedroom is what it is there and just chill for a while. Maybe I'll look and see if there's something I didn't watch for the last day or two. Because I know I'm all caught up on Murder Kingstown and Landman, which is getting pretty good this season actually. That Robin Hood show is interesting too, by the way, for those that haven't watched that yet. It's a really interesting telling of the Robin Hood story there. And what I think is really interesting recently that I found out is there's like at least 3 or 4 different actors from that show, The Ark, that's all in that men. And it's kind of like, that seems like a lot of people from another series to be in this series. So I don't know if it's because they're all like legit like Scottish, Welsh, English, and stuff like that, and that's why they specifically hired them for that role or whatever then, which would make sense to me, obviously, if that were the case. Or if it was a situation where it was just like, whatever about the things. Like I said, I don't know if I'll update for the thing or not. There's what it is. I'm not sure. Like that's the thing. I'm not sure about the legality either of the cops like potentially coming out and like tossing somebody out. Here's what it is then. That's not like somebody just knocks them around. There's what it was. Yeah, because according to what I'm reading right here, when I looked up about being a partner if a tenant is arrested, so you can rent an apartment as long as it is paid, but the truancy agreement is still enforceable and they will still obligated to pay rent. So I'm not sure if they would, because to me that would kind of be falling under that would be then. I would think. So I'm not sure if this guy even paid for December or not. Contract payment, tenant outlines terms of property rental, including. Okay, so it's basically a rental agreement. What we're saying there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what legality would be there if that'd be the case then. But yeah, either way, it's fucking irritating. Because I mean, technically, midnight would be the new month, so that'd be about 45 minutes from now. And I would think if that guy wasn't paid up then, like, it could easily be a situation of them cops coming out and being like, yeah, you're done, bro. Whoever's in there would be the case. Which I would specifically tell them, I'd be like, hey, you better bring a canine unit out here this time. I don't know if I can get that on live stream or not, because cops probably pissed at me while I was streaming on them. Is that would be the case then? Well, it would be kind of funny to hear somebody get dogged in the middle of the night. So, I don't know. I may do something tomorrow if that'd be the case. Maybe I'll go over, knock on the door, and see who's actually in there or something if that'd be the case then. If there's anybody in there by then. So, like I said, it could easily just be a situation of them, you know, just staying in his place while he's gone is what it is then. Because I think he's coming back, but it is kind of weird though if that be the case. If that person wasn't there all night, then if that be the case, and like today, then like why they would not have answered the door when that woman was around, like knocking on the door for him is what it is then. So, unless of course they were in such a dead, like passed out sleep or whatever the case be, like who knows. But even still, it's very, very suspicious in general. So. And the fact that I have no clue who the fuck this person is, like, you know, that's what makes it even more of like, what the hell, man, kind of thing. So, yeah, highly, highly like hackles raised kind of situations what it is right now. So, I don't know, man. I guess I'll just let it be for the time being, if that be the case then. But the thing is, like, again, who's to say it's not a situation now where it would be this person might also be like a felon on the run or something like that kind of situation then. So, That would be kind of ironic, actually, if it was like a situation where it was like two birds, one stone kind of thing. Where it's like back-to-back days, you got, cops being called out of the same place because they got the renter the first night who was outstanding warrants, and then the next day they, kick the door, and it's like some random idiot who also has outstanding warrants or whatever then. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm about done right now. Like I said, it's about 11:20, and it's like an hour and a half past quiet hour or something. So I know Honda's not doing a chat tonight. At least I don't think he is. I don't see anything coming through on Discord or anything like that. So this is only going to be a 20-minute stream initially, so I've been like an hour over on this one anyway. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything there. We would have probably started like a half hour ago anyway if we were going to do a stream tonight on his channel. So I would think Tuesday will be the Gay Frog chat if he does one then. But anyway, who knows? Like I said, I'll do if something else happens, I will make a call to the PD then. If nothing else, if nothing else does happen, it's just, low level like TV noise or something, then I'll just probably try to go to bed in the bedroom. That's what it is. And then deal with it tomorrow, so it'll be then. Find out what the hell's going on, something is there. So it's hard to tell, like, because where this ear is, it's like right here, and it kind of sounds like there would be a TV on right here, but I'm not sure, because it could just as easily be coming from the dude in the opposite side unit there, and just coming through that dude's wall and just kind of hitting me in this ear from like far away. But I'm pretty sure it's back here is what it is though. But if it is on, it's like really very low, like where you can like barely hear voices, what it is there. But that's the thing, like with so for those who don't know, obviously I lived at my mom's place till I was like 25. And then I lived, and mind you, that was like super quiet out there is what it is. And then I lived in Columbus for a couple of years for a year I lived by myself, and I lived with my family for like another year as well was there. And I moved back to my mom's place, and I lived there for about 14 years straight is what it is. And so when you're out in the country like that, you have like next to no noise is what it is. Your ears start getting attuned to like any noise is what it is then. And so like even like, like a small like somebody watching the news very low or something like that, like it kind of like hits you in like certain decibel levels is what it is there. At least for me anyway. It could be too with the autism too for that matter. But it's one of those situations where like I definitely hear something going on there is what it is. And it sounds like it's coming from there, which again, could it be that they let this dude out and it turned out it was actually like somebody else with the same name that had felony warrants out for their arrest? It's possible, but you would think like dude would let it be known that it's him in there if that'd be the case then. So I don't know, man. It's just weird. So I think maybe I'll just call up maybe I'll just call the non-emergency number tomorrow and see about talking to the captain or whatever it is then, and just say, hey, like, I just want to confirm, like, this guy still is in jail or whatever then, right? And then just let them know what's going on if that's the case then. And, like, I've spoken with the landlord about it, and I'm like, I'm not sure if there's somebody in there squatting or what it is right now, but yeah, like, it's not, like, that's the thing right now, like, with what I'm hearing is, like, potential noise level behind me right now. It's not loud enough to, like, I can literally put a pillow behind my head right now, and throw a blanket on, and I'd be asleep in probably like 15 minutes, honestly. So it's like not loud enough to like keep me awake, but like if it was one of those things where it was like there was like a loud like raise or whatever in it, like there could be something like that where it wakes me out of a dead sleep. That's what it is. So yeah, it kind of sounds like someone's watching something like BET or whatever then. So who knows? Like I said, could be his buddy, could be a relative, who the fuck knows? But again, it just seems weird that they wouldn't have answered the door this afternoon unless they were like in a drunken, passed out state or whatever then. So and it does seem kind of odd that they would have got up like within the last 45 minutes to an hour of me doing the stream. That's what it is. So anyway, before we go today, one other thing I did with the hat though, we have this cool little EDC pouch. This was one of the things that was left on the other dude's unit. It was they misdelivered this afternoon is what it was. So I can pull this out of here. I did not make that big enough to put it. Yeah, this thing needs to be about maybe 2 more inches that way is what it is. Yeah, I think this is similar to the wallet thing I have right now is what it is. Pretty cool though. Yeah, I think this is similar to my zippered wallet thing. They call it EC pouch. Yeah, this is okay. This is the exact same thing they already have right now. Yeah, I got a second one of these to give to my cousin. Is what it is then for Christmas. So yeah, you got your money pouch, got your credit card thing there on those two, and then you got your little other one over here for your change to put in there. Is what it is, which is a decent little change wallet. And then you can put something in there too, like a knife or something if you wanted to put a knife or a pen or something in there. And then there's like 2 other slots back here for like a little like baby blade or like maybe like a little flashlight or something like that. Here's what it is. Or like a pen or something there is what it'd be then. So yeah, these are pretty cool. They're like, I think these are roughly $10 right now on sale. So I figured I'd get one for. Actually, I don't know. I'm trying to remember if I was going to do this with my cousin or my nephew. Actually, I think maybe my nephew. Unless my brother needs a new wallet, because I always give him a new wallet. And if that'd be the case, it's also like a little EDC pouch deal with them. So. Okay. Yeah, it still had noise over there. For a minute, it didn't sound like there was anything, and then it just took me a second to like realize that it was just like, don't sound like they like took it down a couple notches for me not to hear it. Then that's what it is, which is even more suspicious than. So, whatever. I really do need to give I think tomorrow I'm going to go probably over to, some point tomorrow morning or afternoon, I'm going to go to the 2 neighbor guys on the other side there. Since I've actually met those guys in person at least once or twice now. And I think maybe I'll just give them my number as what it is then. And be like, hey, just to let you guys know, like, not sure if there's somebody over here or not. And then be like, hey, like, just to let you know, like, because specifically with my recent package being left at that guy's door is what it is instead of my door, which is so stupid to me because, again, like I said, like, when I literally have it in the like add-on instructions of like, hey, like this is what unit I'm in. The number is literally on the fucking screen door. Like, why would you just throw out some random unit in that complex? Just seems stupid to me. Like, that to me is like the height of laziness for an Amazon driver at that point. When I'm specifically telling you, like, hey, do this or whatever. Which my assumption is that they just didn't bother looking at that updated instructions what it is there, which truthfully, I feel like with those things, it should really be, like, there should be a way to, like, do them as, like, part of your address or whatever then. Like, especially if it is an apartment complex or whatever. And just be like, address is on door, leave at right door. So, I'm just glad I got it is what it is, man, because it was out there. When I looked at the time that it was left this afternoon, it was left out there for like 3 hours and some change. So I'm actually shocked it was still there. But at least I figured out what door it was, which, ironically enough, had the driver been pulled back a little bit with their phone and then took the picture there, like a little bit more zoomed out. If I had noticed there was a little barbecue on the side, I would have known exactly whose unit it was then. Because this dude has a little outdoor smoker out there is what it is. But because it was like so zoomed in, I couldn't tell exactly which person's unit it was, except it was a doormat outside. So had to go running around for a couple minutes and get cold, and then took the little flashlight that Muffin Top had sent me last year, which I'm not sure what that throw is on that thing, if it's like 100 lumens or what it is, but it's not enough for sure. Because I was looking around and I was like trying to look and see if I could see, and yeah, even with the little bar light on the side of that thing, it was like nowhere near enough light to light up like people's cement slab porches like 10, 15 feet away is what it was. So I may have to pull out like a bigger light if that be the case in the future then. And just do like a zoom in mode if that ever happens again. So, which hopefully it won't. Hopefully people actually do their fucking job so it is there. But again, this is the problem with Amazon when it comes to I want to say they were sending them out of Solon for the most part for the better part of this year to me, which is up in Cleveland there. And it's like an hour from here or so, give or take. But yeah, today's it was, where did they deliver today's at? That is what it was. Yeah, it was out of Akron today. Yeah, it left the facility in Akron at 12:03 today, and it was delivered at 5:50 or 5:44 this afternoon to the wrong address. So, I mean, well, I shouldn't say wrong address completely. It was the right address. It was just the wrong unit number is what it was then. So, which thank God it was an address. Here's what it is then. It would have actually been funnier if they had left it on the other guy's door that had his number on his door there, except his obviously says the address and then like the apartment number is what it is then. So, but yeah, it's just like I said, fucking irritating either way, because it's like, it's not that hard, bro. Like, just literally send it out to the right damn address there, bro. So, yeah, it's just dumb. It really just comes off as like laziness in a lot of cases to me, because they're like, oh, this is that address. Like, let me just throw out this door then. But again, at least it wasn't as bad as before, because I know there was times where they would leave it at other doors and stuff like that. So it could have been way worse. There's been several times where I've had it be, where is it at now? Yeah, like when they first, it was the last time that Amazon had delivered. Well, no, sorry, it wasn't the last time. Because I put my numbers on my door then with one of these last orders because I got the shit in the order. So it would have been, I think that's been about 3 orders now that have my address on my door now for them to put at the right doorstep. So it would have been, let's see, so that's one, what is that? That maybe 5 orders ago, give or take, is when they started delivering from the Akron facility instead of the Solon facility. And then it was the first time they delivered from the Solon or the Akron facility. You had that idiot driver put it on the next apartment building complex over there is what it is. Because like I said, it's just like a house basically. So it would be like the next house over essentially on their doorsteps. And then I specifically told them the next, because that was on a Sunday, I think they delivered that one to the wrong door. That wasn't even the same address, by the way. And then it would have been like 2 days later, which would have been a Tuesday, I believe. They continued to deliver to that same fucking address. And I'm just like, dude, come on. Like, I literally updated my stuff to tell you it was this fucking unit, like this fucking thing here. Like, does not take a rocket scientist to figure it out, bro. Like, stop being an ass. So, but yeah, people are just stupid what it is, and I mean, it makes sense given that. I know Amazon's kind of shitty when it comes to their drivers and stuff like that, because I was talking to one of the other guys that we do streams for, or we do streams together sometimes, and they were saying about how, I guess, with Amazon, they have made it so their drivers can't even go take a piss, is what it is, because they basically want them pissing in bottles in the vans and stuff, and then like going and delivering people's shit or whatever on time than it'll be or something. So if that be the case, that is pretty disgusting, and it's like not cool at all, man. Because really, that's like sweatshop kind of labor is what it is then. But I don't know. I feel like if that was me, I would just do what I want to do at that point. If they got a problem with it, fuck them. Like, I'm going to deliver the right address, and I'm going to take my time doing it. So, but anyways. So, but yeah, I'll be back, like I said, sometime tomorrow for update then on what's going on around here then. Hopefully by then, whoever is potentially in there right now will vacate then. And then we'll just go from there is what it is. If they don't, I'll let the landlord know what's going on. That's what it is. Because it could very well be a situation where it's like stuff's all paid up for the month or whatever then. But who knows? Just all depends right now. So, but yeah, I'm pretty much done for the night though. I'll, like I said, give you guys a update about, I don't know, let's see, about 11:36 right now, so maybe like 3-4 tomorrow afternoon or so. I'll come back on and do another stream and be like, hey, this, and this happened or whatever then. So either way, at least the fuckery is like done with right now for the time being anyway, but like I said, I have no idea about what's to come then. So hopefully it's not much of anything. It'll just be, you know, landlord being like, nope, this guy's done. So because I'm sure there's other people out there right now that would easily rent this place out if it was on the market again. So it's just a matter of getting things, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, all that shit like that, and then figuring out, like, legal eviction measures and stuff like that on this dude. So, but anyway, I don't think so. I don't believe so. I think the update they gave me was this morning when they were like, "Hey, he's been arrested on felony charges." So, or didn't say felony charges, but they said outstanding warrants is what it is. And when it sounded like it was of felony nature, is what it would be then. So who knows what this guy was doing? Like I said, could have been anything from sex assaults to actual assaults to drunk and disorderly, drunk driving, public intoxication, which would make a lot of sense actually. From that time that he came back at like 4 a.m. drunk as like a skunk is what it was. Disorderly conduct like last night, failure to identify stuff. Trying to think what it would be then. Maybe obstructing justice, who knows? Trying to think what else it would have been then. I know there was a bar here that was shut down recently that was like an illegal speakeasy basically. And I think maybe that's what it would have been. He would have been part of that if that be the case then. So maybe that's what it was. It was like outstanding charges from that if that be the case then, where he was like cited for being like maybe one of the patrons of that place or something then. And he just never got it taken care of or whatever the case be. So then it just is like spiraling like other stuff or whatever then that be the case then. So who knows? Could have been in like 20 different things, honestly. But I mean, the fact this guy was like, what really pisses me off personally, going back to when, I caught him jacking my electric that night, what it was. I had specifically told this guy when I moved in, we had that discussion first day I moved in. I was like, hey, I'm Adam, like, he introduced himself as, Don at that point. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, and then, we exchanged pleasantries and we're like, he's like, if you ever need anything, come to me. And I'm like, yeah, same thing here, bro. Like, if you ever need anything, just don't even hesitate. Just come over and knock on the door, basically. And the fact that he knew I was home that night, because you can see the fucking light through the windows and shit, dude. Like, you can see the ambient light, there's what it is. And the fact that instead of just knocking on my door, telling me the situation as it stood, and letting me decide if I wanted to let him use my electricity or not, he chose to illegally jack into my electricity instead. Because the situation was, for those who don't know, from me talking to the guy who lives over in the A unit on the other side, there's what it is. That dude told me he had taken this dude to, I think it was the Boost Mobile on State Street, here's what it is. And it was because he had to cash his disability check because the guy's in disability for some reason. And he was trying to pay up his electricity is what it was because electricity had gotten shut off. Or no, is that what it was? Yeah, that's what it was. He was trying to pay up electricity because electricity got shut off, but then he was apparently like too far back on the back payments or whatever, so they wouldn't turn it back on. And then it was the next night when I caught him jacking into my box that it was there. Whereas he could have just come to me and been like, hey, neighbor, like, I know you're not, like, I know this is nothing on you or whatever the case be, but like, shit's all fucked up on my end, like, trying to put the money together, can't get the money together right now. Is there any way I could, potentially throw a cord into your outside outlet here and like use it to charge my phone and maybe my freezer or something for the night? Like if he had legitimately come to me and asked me like that, like straight up man to man, I would have been like, bro, that sucks. But yeah, go ahead. Like I would have specifically said, I would have been like, yeah, go ahead. Like it's not an issue, like if you need to use it, like until you get your shit together is what it is then, and then just, day or two maybe if you need it for that, like just, watch out and make sure it doesn't affect me leaving the door here is what it is then. So I don't trip and fall, hurt myself, whatever the case be. But like if he had come to me man to man like that and been like, like give me a sob story, whatever the case be, like maybe I would have let him use it then. or I would tell him to fuck off on the two, you know. But the fact that instead he's like just jacks into the shit on his own, like knowing damn well I'm here at that time, and then it's all like, oh, there is somebody there. It's like, you're just a fucking idiot, bro. Like, you're just a moron. And then for you to then have the audacity to yank the freaking extension cord out of the outlet so hard they could have broken the outlet potentially, and then to come over a couple minutes later and be like, what's up, man? And that's when I confronted his ass that night is what it was then, which I still have on the blank camera here is what it is. And for him to sit there and be like, oh, I didn't realize it wasn't cool for me to do that. And I'm like, of course it's not fucking cool, dude. You're literally stealing electricity. Like, what the hell? And then has the audacity after the fact to be like, oh, well, can I still plug into it then? And I'm like, fuck no, get the hell out of here. So it's like, really, dude, like, just insult to it's like insult to injury at that point, you know? So, I don't know. I'm just glad he's gone is what it is right now. Like, he's honestly, like, I smacked him across the face with that, and there's what it is. So, anyway. But, yeah, it's so ridiculous what it is. Anyway, I'm getting pretty tired right now. It's been like almost 2 hours for the stream when it should have been like 25 minutes at max. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna try to do a little stretch out, and then I'm gonna try to jump in the bed tonight as what it will be, and see if it doesn't help a little bit. Problem is, again, just I think what some of my issues are is the fact that, like, with the way I'm in the chair here, there's like a lot more cushioning on my back is what it is, and because I'm like on a tilted angle, basically, I can sleep better versus, you know, being completely like flat out is what it is on the bed. Like, it's much harder for me to sleep like that is what it is then, because it messes up my discs and back is what it is too. So I was talking to my sister about it, and we were talking about if I need to get one of those adjustable bed frames as what it is then, which it might be the case at some point here, but I think I'm also going to buy a mattress that's be like a memory foam kind of one, because the problem is the one I have right now, it's just like one of the inflatable kind of ones. It's semi-soft and probably could work with that, but it would probably eventually fuck up over time or whatever there. And I'm not so sure there's not enough padding with that one is what it is there. So I almost want to have something different is what it is. And I figured out between the cost of a bed frame that would be adjustable like that, which is like $400 or something, and then it's like another, I think like $200 or $300 for that mattress then. So it'd be almost a rent check at that point then. So it'd be one of those situations where I'd have to basically figure out what I want to get, when I want to get it, and if I'd have to go like one thing here and then the other thing sometime in the future, if I could do both things at one time and then just have enough to pay off my credit card or whatever it is then. So, yeah, it's just a nightmare basically at this point to figure it out, but I don't know. It just sucks, man. So, but yeah, it's just a matter of putting the money together and like figuring it out basically. So, unless I was going to 100% stay here another year, which I'm not sure if I am or not. Like, if this guy's completely gone, who it is, and somebody new would be in there, I might seriously consider it then. But if it would be either him or like one of his idiot fucking friends or whatever taking over the lease, then like I don't think I'd be staying here as what it is then. So I don't know. It just all really depends on what it is. So, which for all I know, the person that potentially is in there right now is the same fucking asshole who was here that night helping him jack on my electricity is what it is then. Because I never saw the second guy, I just heard two people talking what it was then. So, but yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous what it is. So, just asshole behavior and then some. Oh, actually, I guess I should have checked when I looked at the picture earlier, I should have been able to figure out like exactly whose unit it was then, because it's the only unit in this entire complex that doesn't actually have a screen door in it anymore. Because I just realized that looking at the picture again now, which would be the guys over there then, because everybody else has a screen door on that side where it is there. I'm not sure if it, I think his might have been broken. Remember, he just took it off. That's what it was. And it just never got replaced then by the landlord. So, but yeah, like with mine, it would be, I would think it'd be actually colder over there for him now because of that, not having a screen door then. And you just have your regular base doors would it be then. So, I don't know. It's whatever. So, interesting. So apparently, according to this, when I was looking at the lease agreement stuff, it says leaseholder, which I'm guessing would be the landlord in that case, may still ask tenants to leave even if they're not there. So if they're arrested or whatever, they would have to leave. That's what it would be. So, like knowing this old man, he'll probably just let this guy shit around. That's my guess, honestly. So it could very well be a situation there where it's like somebody else is paying for the next 3 months or something like that, and it just gives whoever the boot. That's what it is. Or it could be, like I said, comes through this week and just knocks on the door and shoves a key in it and be like, landlord, opening this door. Goes and checks it out and then kicks whoever's in there out, potentially what it is then. Because they're not on the lease agreement then. Because really, from where I'm looking at, that would be, truthfully, that would be in like an illegal sublease, would it be then? Because I don't think this person everything in writing is what it is then. And even as like a verbal contract, I'm not sure that would hold up in court or anything like that here in the state of Ohio or any other state for that matter. So, yeah, just all depends. So, anyway. But, yeah. So, it's about 10 minutes to midnight though, so I'm gonna call it night, I think. And then hopefully I'll get a update here in the next 12 to 14 hours, give or take. I'll still do a stream tomorrow no matter what. If I don't have anything, I don't have anything. But if I do have something, I will obviously let you guys know. If it turns out it's like kind of nothing or whatever, then I'll just be, this is what I know right now is what it is. I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably just call up the PD then and be like, hey, like I just want to. I think probably most likely I'll call up the non-emergency number in the morning so it is then, and just let them know what's going on and be like, I'm pretty sure there's still somebody else in here that's not on this guy's lease that potentially was there when you guys arrested him Sunday morning is what it is then. And I have no idea if this person has outstanding warrants too or not, but and see if they'll send an officer to check it out or not then if that be the case. Just do like a knock and talk for nothing else then. Because, like I said, I have no fucking clue who this potential person is back here right now, what it is. Could be some dude, could be some chick, could be somebody that broke in is now squatting in the place for the next 30 days, who the fuck knows. So, could be his family, could be his friend, I don't know. But it makes me not feel safe with this then, dude, because at least with him, I knew who the fuck it was in the unit at the time then. Whereas with this person, I have no clue who the fuck they are, what it is. And so it's like, yeah, it's, puts me on edge is what it is right there. It's like, I don't know you, man. Like, who the fuck are you? So, but anyway, like I said, though, I do think it was sort of fate, sort of serendipity. Maybe a good omen, bad omen, God omen, who the fuck knows. When it came to that black cat on my porch the other day. And basically giving me sending some luck my way, and that luck was basically finally get rid of this fucking idiot. That's what it was then. So who knows? But either way, it is what it is. And that's all that it is. So I'm probably still going to try to find a different place to live come next April, though. I'm thinking, depending on how this all goes, obviously. Like, it really is like, because if I was going to look for a new place, it'd probably be like February or so, end of January, somewhere in there, just to see what's out there in the market and whatnot. Maybe set something up, that'd be the case then. So, but really, again, it'll just depend on how I am, like where I'm at, and like if financially I can actually, swing in other places with this then, and if it's still around the same amount as this one will be then. And then it would just be, from there, it would essentially just be, getting everything together then, and then moving out of here and getting some, what do you call them now? Hiring a moving company to move all the stuff out then. And then basically moving to wherever it's going to be then, figuring stuff out there. And then if it would be moving there, it would be updating my ID then to reflect that place, so I could actually go vote then, is what it would be then. Or if nothing else, it would be, if I planned on staying here then and figuring that out for another year, like it would be me having to update my ID then to here is what it would be then finally. So either way, it's updating and making sure my voter registration and stuff like that's all good to go as it is then. So I can actually vote next May is what it would be then. So, but yeah, it is what it is. So, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed this almost 2-hour stream tonight. I will be back at some point tomorrow afternoon for update to what's going on here and let everybody know what's happening then. I'm definitely hearing voices over there right now, or a voice. I don't think it's the neighbor guy. Fucking better not be. Alright, well, whatever. Like I said, I'll give an update tomorrow. It'll be then. Yeah, I'm definitely hearing somebody that sounds black speaking right now. So, alright, well, like I said, I'll let you guys know what's going on and go from there then. I would be so pissed if they let this guy back out then. After everything yesterday. Or actually, I guess it wouldn't be. Well, not quite yesterday. It'd be this morning. So it'd be about 18 hours ago, give or take. Alright, whatever. Peace out. Stay safe. All that good stuff. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.